Consciously, his side had started to suffer casualties, whereas the other side had not lost a single person. If this continued, inevitably it would be his side that would face defeat. With this thought, the force behind the burly Great Han's war saber grew even more formidable. Boom. Once again, taking the burly Great Han's mighty slash, Grand Steward Wei skillfully redirected the force to avoid injury. After such a long battle, his command over the Silver Moon battle formation became even more adept. Seeing the enemy begin to suffer casualties, his spirit was lifted, and he began to see the hope for victory. If they could just crush this group of martial artists, they could go support the family head and slay the red-faced elder. By then, the Wei family's crisis would be largely resolved. The other Silver Moon guards also realized this. Inspired by this, the onslaught of the Silver Moon battle formation became even more fierce. Could the Wei family really be about to win? Continue your journey with my virtual library Empire the Lord County Master. The middle-aged man with phoenix eyes on the corner rooftop also noticed the change in the situation below, his eyes full of astonishment. However, that person would probably not allow such a thing to happen, right? Just as the thought passed through his mind, he suddenly felt a chill rise from within his heart. An uncontrollable shiver spread throughout his body. With awe in his eyes, he looked towards the highest part of the opposite rooftop. There, unbeknownst when, another figure had appeared. A terrifying presence emanated from this figure, causing him, an experienced martial arts expert within a step from the perfect realm, to tremble uncontrollably. Innate realm. In an instant, the man with the phoenix eyes knew the origins of that figure. Other than the mysterious and overwhelmingly powerful innate realm expert, who else could possess such a terrifying aura? This figure's appearance also caught the attention of the numerous martial artists in the front courtyard below. For a moment, everyone's bodies trembled uncontrollably, and they involuntarily stopped what they were doing. There was no helping it. The figure on the roof exuded such a terrifying presence that no one could overlook. Even Wei Xinghe and the red-faced old man, who were still entangled in a fight, suddenly separated and retreated to either side, looking towards the rooftop with trepidation and uncertainty. Master, the burly Great Han's pupil shrank. Second Elder. The martial artist who had come with the burly Great Han also exclaimed in shock. Master? Second Elder? A thought crossed Wei Xinghe's mind, realizing that the person arriving was the behind-the-scenes mastermind who had brought calamity to the Wei family. A bunch of trash. Wang Songyi looked down at the scene below with a dark expression. He hadn't expected that so many of his subordinates would not only fail to handle the Wei family, but even show signs of defeat. This was something the always arrogant him couldn't tolerate. The burly man's body trembled, and he immediately knelt on one knee. Disciple has been inept. Please punish me, Master. The other disciples of the Tsongyan sect also quickly knelt down. Humph. Wang Songyi snorted coldly but said nothing. These worthless disciples indeed needed punishment, but that was not for now. His gaze swept over the kneeling disciples before settling on the Wei family crowd, eventually focusing on Wei Xinghe. Are you the current family head of the Wei family? Being under Wang Songyi's gaze, Wei Xinghe immediately felt a tremendous weight upon him, as if a massive mountain had fallen onto his shoulders, making it difficult to breathe. Fear uncontrollably welled up from the depths of his heart, and he couldn't help but want to kneel and beg for mercy. Not good. Wei Xinghe realized that this was the influence of the innate realm's pressure, causing him to have hallucinations. He clenched his fists tightly, thrusting his nails into his palms, and under the sharp pain, his mind finally broke free from the fear, and his vision cleared. Indeed, I am Wei Xinghe, the current patriarch of the Wei family. I have seen the distinguished personage of the innate realm. Wei Xinghe bowed deeply, his posture very humble. Good composure, quite the talent. With your temperament, given time, you might indeed cultivate your own divine soul power and step into the innate realm. Seeing that Wei Xinghe had freed himself from the innate pressure, Wang Songyi's expression did not change, but he actually offered praise. I dare not. Wei Xinghe's heart quivered. The more composed the other party was, the more uneasy he felt. Wei Xinghe, I am giving you two options now. One is to hand over that treasure, and I will spare your Wei family. The other is for me to take action personally and obliterate your Wei family completely. Which option would you like to choose? As expected, Wang Songyi's following words shocked Wei Xinghe greatly. He cried out urgently, Sir, the Holy Mountain has decreed that those of the innate realm should not harm those below the innate level at will. Does Sir intend to defy the Holy Order? Presumptuous. Wang Tsangyi's face darkened, and a powerful aura burst forth from him, instantly creating a gale. All the martial artists below felt as if a great mountain was pressing down on them. Those with weaker resolve immediately knelt down, faces filled with fear. As for Wei Xinghe, who bore the brunt of the pressure, he felt the burden on him multiply, as if the heavens were about to collapse upon him, so oppressively that he even shattered the thick Qing stone slabs under his feet. Hallucinations. These are all hallucinations. Wei Xinghe kept reminding himself internally, refusing to allow himself to kneel. As the patriarch of the Wei family, he had felt the might of the innate realm from his ancestors. He knew that this inborn momentum couldn't directly injure people. As long as his will was strong enough, he could treat it as if it were a breeze, not affecting him. With continuous mental reassurance, Wei Xinghe actually withstood the pressure, and despite trembling, he remained standing, without kneeling. Upon witnessing this scene, a hint of surprise appeared in Wang Tsangyi's eyes. If previously Wei Xinghe's resilience could be explained by his strong will, it was another matter that he could persevere under the full force of his aura now. This indicated that Wei Xinghe's will far surpass that of an ordinary martial artist at the peak of the internal realm. Will is closely related to one's heart and spirit. If previously Wang Tsangyi's words were 70% deception and 30% coaxing, giving Wei Xinghe a prospect of reaching the innate realm, with the intent to lessen his will to fight and make him surrender the treasure, now, he felt that Wei Xinghe might indeed have the potential to step into the innate realm. Especially after his aura had washed over the environment, it wouldn't be long before Wei Xinghe might truly comprehend the divine soul power because of it. This man must not be left alive. With that thought, Wang Tsangyi's gaze suddenly sharpened. He raised his hand, and a white sword chi materialized from thin air, speeding straight towards Wei Xinghe. What? Wei Xinghe was shocked. He couldn't have imagined that a mighty innate realm cultivator would actually stoop to such a level of shamelessness. Not only did he make a move against a postnatal realm martial artist like himself, but he did so in an almost sneak attack manner. Wei Xinghe wanted to dodge, but the sword chi arrived too swiftly, and coupled with Wang Tsangyi's oppressive aura still bearing down on him, he couldn't bring even 30 to 40% of his full strength to bear, much less dodge in time. He could only watch helplessly as the sword chi was about to strike him. My life is over. Wei Xinghe sighed in his heart and closed his eyes. Yet in his mind, two figures involuntarily surfaced. My lady, in air, I'm afraid I won't be able to come find you myself. Wei Xinghe closed his eyes, waiting for death. The other martial artists also widened their eyes, watching this unfold. However, the next moment, an even more shocking scene occurred. Just as Wang Tsangyi's sword chi was about to hit Wei Xinghe, a red light suddenly emerged, overtaking and blocking the white sword chi. Boom! White and red lights collided, and an intense explosion erupted. Under the tremendous outburst of chi force, not only was Wei Xinghe sent tumbling away, but even nearby martial artists were destabilized, rolling on the ground like scattered gourds. Wang Tsangyi, you still haven't changed. Using such shameless sneak attacks against a junior in the postnatal realm, truly disgraceful for someone of the innate realm. After the blast, an old yet vigorous voice rang out from above the crowd. Grand Ancestor. Shocked to the point of spitting mouthfuls of blood and suffering from chest pains, Wei Xinghe was too preoccupied with his injuries to care and looked up, his face showing a surge of overjoyed relief. Indeed, on another rooftop, he saw a familiar figure. That old man with a fierce character and powerful stature, carrying a war saber on his back. Another innate realm figure. Feeling the aura emanating from this newly appeared figure, the martial artists below instantly realized that here stood another innate realm grandmaster. And to hear Wei Xinghe's address, this elder was the famed patriarch of the Wei family. Another innate realm cultivator has appeared. Amid the tense atmosphere, one person felt extremely fearful. The middle-aged man with phoenix eyes didn't dare to move an inch under the eaves. Sure enough, it's not the right time to enjoy the commotion. Why did I get curious? If I had left earlier, none of this would have happened. The middle-aged man with phoenix eyes lamented in his mind. Currently trapped between two innate realm powers, he found himself in a dilemma with no way to escape. He didn't dare dream that the two innate realm masters hadn't noticed him. His only hope was that they would respect his status as county lord and not make things difficult for him. Wei Shanhai, you really aren't dead. Wang Tsangyi's expression remained calm as he looked at the Wei family patriarch and spoke slowly. Wei Shanhai, have a long life ahead. You deceitful coward will die before I ever will. The Wei family patriarch, Wei Shanhai, spat in contempt. Humph. Even if you're not dead, your central veins have been hit by my sword chi. You probably still haven't fully expelled it, have you? With your primordial chi greatly damaged, how much of your full strength can you really wield now? Wang Songyi said with a smile. I'm not sure how much strength I can use, but to kill a treacherous person like you who speaks honeyed words but harbors malice, it should be more than enough, Wei Shanhai retorted with disdain. Really? Then let's see you try. Wang Songyi lifted his arm, and a white sword chi began to condense in his palm. Stay connected through my virtual library empire, not afraid of you. Wei Shanhai's gaze intensified, and a sword light also emerged in his hand. As the aura of the two innate realm powers collided, the martial artists below suddenly found breathing difficult, their hearts oppressively heavy as if they were about to meet their end at any moment, a profound discomfort spreading among them. An overwhelming sense of fear arose within everyone. They could sense that if these two innate realms started to battle here, they would likely suffer collateral damage. The two of you? Are you sure you want to fight here within the city? That's when a plain voice sounded. Who dares to challenge the authority of two innate realm existences? As the martial artists, almost suffocated under the pressure of the two innate realms, heard this remark, they were stunned. Then they saw a figure appear, walking slowly from the Wei Mansion's main gate. He was a young man in simple clothes with an ordinary appearance. In his hands, he held a jade scroll. This jade scroll emitted a soft white light, enveloping the cloth-clothed youth and allowing him to walk freely under the daunting pressure of the two innate realms, unobstructed. This bizarre scene not only shocked the gathered martial artists. Even Wang Songyi and Wei Shanhai, both innate realm experts, couldn't help but narrow their eyes. Both of you, Holy Mountain once issued a decree that innate realm martial artists must not attack those below innate without reason, nor engage in combat of innate level in populated cities. Do you intend to defy this decree? Facing the scrutiny of the two powerful innates, the cloth-clothed youth remained composed, yet his tone grew increasingly stern. Dan Book Jade Scroll, are you a representative from Tianji Building? Wang Songyi stared intently at the jade scroll in the hands of the cloth-clothed youth, his expression serious.
Yo, what's going on, Matthias? How you doing? I'm just chilling right now. The server's about to reset in 2 minutes. So after it resets, I want to do a little bit of leveling. Try and get it to maybe 36 or maybe 40 if possible. Before I hop on to Final Fantasy later today. It's all good, man. It's all good. No worries. I saw your message on Discord. So I understand. No worries, dude. No worries. Though I did I did wait like I did wait like about 5-7 minutes because I didn't see any reply on Discord. I figured maybe your your cable probably went out or something. So that's what I kind of thought. I didn't know that your internet went out. Okay, gonna reset soon. Well, it's good. The party went pretty good. It went pretty good. I want to say maybe. I want to say maybe we got around like 2 to 3 levels before the party disbanded because it was late. But yeah, it was pretty good. Ooh. Okay, come on, recess. Okay. Sweet E. Let's wait a minute before. Oh, no, it should be offline for like a while, like 30 seconds or so. Yeah, there we go. Offline. Okay. Just gotta wait for it to get back online. Garage door. Let's see. This character has mail on it. I wonder what it has. I want to say yes. But I feel like I'm maybe 28. I feel like I probably got to 28. I'm not 100% sure. Because when we started playing, the lowest level person in the party was level 20. The party sync, and by the time the party end, that the party synced person was 23. So that's why I say probably 3. But I feel like I probably only got like 2 levels out of it. So I'm probably 28. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, jeez. Yawning so much. Just ate some instant noodles, so I'm feeling a slight bit drowsy. That's probably why I'm yawning so much. Still not up yet. Okay, this character, I may have to delete this character. Oh, come on. When's this server coming back up? This realm. 10 characters. Okay, so I can only make 1 more character on this, unless I delete one of the other characters. Duh. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's that one way down there. Wait, what? What was I building this one to be? I don't remember. So we got build draft, draft. I think this one was supposed to be serpent. Can't remember. Okay, I think this was gonna be the tank, the bear. Let's see. I think this was gonna be the bear. So, a while back, like a couple months ago, back when I was still living in Boston, I did put about $50 into the game store. So I still have a little bit of money on the game store. So I was thinking, yeah. So this is the bear. So I was thinking maybe I want to use that remaining let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so in the store, I did put a little bit of money in it. So I'm thinking I want to do, like, I want to get something from the shop using that bit that I have left. But I'm not sure if I want to get one of these bear transformations, so that way when I do play in a bear, I'll look different. I won't look like this, because this is just the basic bear form and it's not that great looking. I'm surprised. I don't know why the ass of the bear is much higher than the head, which is weird. Where? There you go. Nope, that's not it. What? Yeah, there we go. Should probably move this up. Where are you? Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know. I don't know why the design of the bear is like that. Like, if I can find somebody who's transformed as a bear in town, I'll show you what I mean. Like, is there a bear? Okay, there goes a bear right here. Like, if you look at that. His ass is way up here and his head is way down here. His head is way down here. Like, the level is so crazy. I don't know why the design is like that. Thinking that I might start leveling my mule. I kind of like the low level stuff these days. You're talking about Final Fantasy, right? Hmm. Yeah, the low levels. The low levels are much faster. Like, you level much faster, and that's what I really like. I really like the low levels because you can level up much faster. But at higher levels, it takes much longer to level up, which is one of the things that I'm not, all that happy about. Okay, so let's see if we can get a party. Party. Oh, what did I just damage? Did I damage a rat? Yeah. It's a wat. No more guard. Need to finish Warrior. I just don't want to. Lost Steam a while ago. Yeah, I understand. Um, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I want to. Well, I gotta wait until I get Sky, but I don't want to level up Summoner, and I don't want to level up Red Mage yet, because honestly, I feel kind of burnt out with healing at the moment, because like I said, at high levels it takes longer to get a level, and it just it sucks being nothing but a healer for the main job, and then the other job, one of the other job that I want to get to 75, which is Summoner. I want to play Summoner. I want to do some DPS, do some buffs. Don't focus on like being the main healer of the party. Okay. Let's see. Can I? Also, recently I've been thinking about getting back into Unreal Engine to try and, because I've mentioned this a few times, but I don't think you've heard it yet. But a couple years ago, I was building my own game, but my hard drive that I was saving all the data on, it got wiped, and everything in the hard drive got deleted, including the game that I spent like a year and a half, almost 2 years working on. So that kind of like bummed me out so bad that I haven't really touched Unreal Engine, or haven't really worked on another game since. So I've been thinking about recently getting back into trying to make a game. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about getting back into trying to build a game, and it's much better. It's much better. Doesn't hurt anymore. But every now and then, like if I do it like at like a weird angle or something, I'll feel like a little pinch. It'll feel like a little pinch, but aside from that, it's good. Doesn't hurt anymore. Yesterday, the day before yesterday was really bad, but then yesterday it was still kind of hurting, but not as much. And today, um, it's it's not noticeable unless I do it like at a weird angle, and then I feel the pinch. Probably, probably, but it sucks that if you like like nerves, this hurts so bad. Like if you injure a nerve or something like that, it hurts so bad. That sucks. Oh, did they already plan through all this? What's going on here? What's going on here? Big old yo king. Oof. Excuse me. Also, I'm not sure what's going on. Also, like I've been thinking, if I do get back into building building a game, what sort of game do I want to make? So I'm not exactly sure. Oh, was that it? Real? That's it? It's a really bad glitch. What's going on here? Okay, this is weird. This is very weird. Okay, I'm not sure what the hell's going on there. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Well met. Go with honor, friend.
Hmm. So this is for 30 and up. Okay. Okay. I guess we can go there. Head to Ratchet. Not Ratchet. Is it Booty Bay?
For the Alliance.
What's it called again? I think it's Booty Bay. I don't remember.
Greetings.
Unless I want to go up here. wetlands and then head over to this area over here.
Light bless you.
Okay, let's head over this way.
Be careful.
Let's take a flight to the wetlands and then march our way over to the hinterland. Ooh, damn it, stop. Stop yawning so much.
Tianji Building's Ji Rue, at your service, esteemed innate realms. The cloth-clothed youth bowed slightly and said calmly. Hearing the admission from the cloth-clothed youth, Wang Sani was shaken. He quietly observed the cloth-clothed youth for a while and slowly dispersed the sword chi in his palm. Although uncertain of his true identity, he had heard of the mystical Dan Book Jade Scroll. Such a mysterious scroll could only be activated by ones from Tianji Building. Even Wei Shanhai sheathed his sword light. However, unlike Wang Sani, his heart somewhat relaxed. He knew that with the appearance of someone from Tianji Building, today's battle would likely not occur. Wang Sani keenly sensed this slight fluctuation in Wei Shanhai's spirit. He immediately understood that his opponent was not yet healed and had been merely bluffing just now. In an instant, Wang Sani's face darkened. He looked at the cloth-clothed youth and questioned, "It is well known that Tianji Building does not partake in conflicts between the world's factions. Mr. Ji Rue, are you intending to break this stance? The position of Tianji Building has never changed, Mr. Wang, no need for doubts, the cloth-clothed youth replied indifferently. Your conflict with Senior Wei is of no interest to Tianji Building. But if you both insist on fighting within the city, you should know the consequences. Wang Sani's expression flickered. Had the cloth-clothed youth not been there, he could have killed Wei Shanhai, annihilated the Wei family, obtained the treasure, and then fled. Then, even if Holy Mountain pursued the matter, he could have lowered his responsibility to the minimum. But now, with the cloth-clothed youth present, he dared not act rashly. It was rumored that the Dan Book Jade Scroll from Tianji Building had a magical ability. The content written on it could be transmitted instantaneously to the headquarters of Tianji Building, quite mystical. With the cloth-clothed youth present, even if he slaughtered everyone in the city to silence them, he likely could not prevent the news from leaking. Wei Shanhai, do you dare to fight me outside the city? Wang Sangyi's face darkened as he was silent for a moment, suddenly yelling at the Wei Patriarch. Ha 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 ha, Wang Sangyi, no rush. This old man has traveled for days and is a bit tired. Give me a few days to recuperate, and I will personally come and take your head. However, seeing the hardy and bold Wei Shanhai, he just laughed heartily, showing no intention to fight. You. Wang Sangyi grew furious, cowardly old thief. You lack even the spirit to fight. You disgrace the 3 words, innate realm. Unlike you, a despicable villain who only knows how to attack from behind, engaging in petty theft, retorted Wei Shanhai. You. Wang Sangyi's chest heaved violently, knowing that Wei Shanhai had decided to hide in the city like a coward. Yet he had no way to lay hands on him. If he insisted on starting a battle, unless he could kill Wei Shanhai instantly. Otherwise, no matter the outcome, as long as others were harmed during the fight, he could not escape the pursuit of Holy Mountain. Thinking of the penalties for starting an innate-level battle in the city, Wang Sangyi shuddered. He did not want to spend the rest of his life confined to Holy Mountain, living in constant fear. After weighing his options, knowing that Wei Shanhai, even if unhealed, wasn't someone he could kill instantly at this moment. Wang Sangyi just gritted his teeth, glaring at Wei Shanhai, his voice fierce. Read new adventures at my virtual library, Empire Old Man. Just wait. I won't give up until I get that item. You'd better stay in the city forever, hiding like a coward, or else the day you leave this county will be the day you die. With that, a loud blast sounded, and his figure vanished atop the roofs. Master. Seeing Wang Sangyi leave abruptly, the robust Great Han and others were alarmed. Aren't you leaving yet? Wei Shanhai did not trouble these men further. His voice deepened as he shouted, releasing a powerful burst of energy. The robust Great Han and others dared not linger. Hearing this, they hurried towards the exterior of Wei Mansion. Those who were slow were kicked by the people behind them, scrambling desperately to escape. Once all members of the party had left, Wei Shanhai then addressed someone under the eaves. "Sir, please come out." Was there someone else hiding above? The people of the Wei family all looked in that direction. Beneath the scrutiny of many, a figure crawled out from beneath the eaves, dropped to the ground, and stood there with poise. "I pay my respects to Senior Wei." The middle-aged man with phoenix eyes first bowed to Wei Shanhai, then turned to the cloth-clothed youth and said, "Mr. Jirue, it's good that you arrived in time. Otherwise, I might never have seen you again." Upon seeing this figure, the people of the Wei family were all somewhat dumbfounded. No one had expected the county lord to be hiding in that spot. The cloth-clothed youth also hadn't expected his friend to be hiding there. Even his usually calm demeanor now bore a look of astonishment. Seeing his friend still acting nonchalant, he couldn't help but sigh. "You really need to change your love for watching spectacles, because one day, if I hear news of your death, it wouldn't be a surprise." "Mr. Jirue, that's a bit unfair. Why would a friend curse me with death?" As the two bickered, Wei Shanhai also landed on the ground and bowed to the cloth-clothed youth. "Thank you, Mr. Jirue, for saving the lives of my entire Wei family." The cloth-clothed youth's expression returned to its usual calm. He faintly said, "Senior Wei misunderstands. My presence here was not to relieve the Wei family from any situation, but because I did not want to see anyone defying the Holy Mountain's prohibition. No matter the reason, your arrival indeed saved our Wei family, a favor Wei Shanhai will never forget," Wei Shanhai declared. The cloth-clothed youth shook his head and walked away without saying another word. "Mr. Jirue, why the rush? Wait for me, let's go for a drink together." The middle-aged man with phoenix eyes bowed to Wei Shanhai and chased after him while shouting. Wei Shanhai watched the two leave the Wei mansion without calling out to keep them. "Ancestors." Once all the outsiders had departed, Wei Xinghe, clutching his chest, led the family members to approach excitedly. "Xinghe, the situation was urgent just now, and I couldn't fully block Wang Songyi's sword chi, causing you to be injured. I hope it's nothing serious?" Wei Shanhai asked. "It's nothing. Who would have thought that an innate realm expert would resort to a sneak attack on a junior like me? Luckily, you arrived in time, ancestor," Wei Xinghe said, shaking his head. "Humph, that Wang Songyi has always been despicable and shameless. He doesn't care about reputation," Wei Shanhai scoffed. "Ancestor, why didn't you keep Mr. Jirue here? He saved our Wei family, and just letting him leave seems somewhat discourteous?" Wei Xinghe inquired. Wei Shanhai shook his head. "It's not that I didn't want to keep him. It's just that his status is special, and he usually doesn't get close to other powers. Keeping him would have been making things difficult for him." Wei Xinghe still wanted to ask, but Wei Shanhai gestured with his hand. "Let's go inside and talk. Have someone tidy up the courtyard first." Wei Xinghe had to hold his questions until they were inside the house with only him, the Grand Steward, and the ancestor present. Then he continued, "Ancestor, when did you return? I have been back for several days, but I haven't entered the city because I knew Wang Songyi would be waiting in the shadows to strike. Ancestor, who are these people exactly, and what is the grudge between you and Wang Songyi?" This question had been troubling Wei Xinghe for some time. Such a treasure had always been hidden and secret, known to only a few in the family. Why then could this mysterious force know about it? The attackers on our Wei family mostly came from a sect force in the northern border called the Heavenly Tsang sect, where Wang Songyi serves as the second elder. As for the grudge between him and me, Wei Shanhai sighed before continuing. "He and I were once friends." "Friends? How then?" Wei Xinghe and the Grand Steward were shocked. "That was a matter of 100 years ago." As Wei Shanhai narrated, Wei Xinghe and the others slowly came to understand what had truly happened. 100 years ago, Wei Shanhai was a vigorous and bold young man. At that time, he had achieved greatness in martial arts cultivation, and though young, he was a martial arts expert with perfect bones and muscles, a rare martial arts genius in the Wei family in a century. To find a breakthrough to the internal realm and to broaden his horizon, Wei Shanhai, at the age of 20, decided to travel and meet the heroes of the world. During his travels, he met a young man about his age, Wang Songyi. Wang Songyi, from a major sect, was exceptionally powerful and well-experienced. Find more chapters on my virtual library empire in both strength and experience. He surpassed Wei Shanhai, who originated from a lesser-known family at the time. The two felt an instant kinship, and Wei Shanhai was particularly impressed by Wang Cangyi's demeanor. Eventually, the two swore brotherhood. After becoming sworn brothers, they ventured through the martial world together, experiencing and witnessing much. However, it was during these travels that Wei Shanhai slowly realized that Wang Cangyi was not as grand and noble as he seemed. His heart was not as expansive as it appeared. Sometimes, he would pick on the weak over trivial issues. He was quick to take vengeance, and if anyone offended him, even by accident, he would slay them to vent his anger. If not for Wei Shanhai often intervening, many times he even wanted to vent his anger on others' families, obliterating entire clans. Thus, throughout their travels, their ideologies and discourse on dealing with matters diverged, leading to frequent arguments. But at that time, in Wei Shanhai's heart, he still considered Wang Cangyi a brother. He thought that although Wang's actions were a bit extreme, he was still a righteous person. What really caused their rupture was an incident after the two went to explore a secret chamber together. In that mysterious land, they inadvertently deciphered a cave dwelling and obtained a great opportunity. However, when it came to dividing the treasure, disagreements arose. Wang Cangyi believed that since he had put in more effort during the process of deciphering the cave, he should be entitled to 90% of the treasure. Wei Shanhai, however, felt that since they were brothers, they shouldn't be so calculative. Even though he hadn't exerted as much effort, he had also protected Wang Cangyi from a lethal trap when entering the cave. By that reasoning, even if he didn't get half, he should receive more than just 10%. The two had an intense argument once more, nearly coming to blows. In the end, Wei Shanhai stepped back. He was willing to take only 10% of the treasure, but with one condition, that he picks his share first. Unexpectedly, Wang Cangyi didn't even agree to this request, insisting that they take turns picking one item at a time. Thus, Wei Shanhai was thoroughly disappointed in Wang Cangyi. You must know, the treasures they obtained were quite extraordinary. With their power levels at the time, they couldn't distinguish which items were the best. Even if he were to choose first, he wouldn't have been able to pick all the most precious treasures. And yet, Wang Cangyi wouldn't even concede that slight disadvantage. After completely seeing Wang Cangyi's true nature, Wei Shanhai let go. He casually picked a few treasures, and once they exited the cave, he severed ties with Wang Cangyi forever, each going their separate ways and ceasing all contact. Now that I think about it, if it weren't for my breakthrough in the innate realm during our travels back then, making our powers nearly equal, with neither of us sure of victory over the other, I'm afraid Wang Cangyi might have already had murderous intent at that time, Wei Shanhai sighed. Ancestor, according to what you said, the treasures you ended up with, Wei Xingha tentatively asked. Indeed, among the treasures I picked, one of them is the item hidden in the Wei family's secret vault, Wei Shanhai nodded, and it was the most precious item we found in that secret chamber. The most precious? Read new adventures at my virtual library empire, yes. I never expected that a casual choice back then would result in me taking away the most valuable item from the treasures. Wang Cangyi would have never imagined that I'd be so lucky, choosing the most valuable treasure in one go. Perhaps this could be called destiny. I wonder if it made him exceedingly furious in the days that followed. A trace of an ironic smile appeared on Wei Shanhai's face. Imagining the scenario, Wei Xingha and housekeeper Wei felt that given Wang Cangyi's temper, he probably was indeed very agitated. So Wang Cangyi's visit to our Wei family this time is to obtain that treasure. But why then were you ambushed by him, ancestor? Inquired Wei Xingha. That, I must say, is because I was too careless, Wei Shanhai sighed. After my fallout with Wang Cangyi, I hadn't seen him again. Recently, he wrote to me, saying that his old friends who hadn't met for many years, he wished to meet up. I thought to myself that so many years have passed, and we were both so headstrong when we were young, which is why we argued so fiercely. Now, 100 years later, what is there that can't be let go? So, I went to meet him. I didn't expect that once we met, Wang Cangyi pretended to reminisce with me about our youthful travels and then launched a surprise attack while my guard was down. I was caught off guard and seriously injured, managing to escape only by finding an opening. How are your injuries now, ancestor? Wei Xingha hurriedly asked. My injuries have not yet healed, and I can only exert up to 30% of my full power, Wei Shanhai spoke nonchalantly. Hearing this, Wei Xingha and housekeeper Wei were shocked. Just as they were about to ask further, Wei Shanhai asked, By the way, I have been back for so long. Why haven't I seen Ning Yin and an heir? Where are they? Innate realm practitioners have extraordinary senses, and Wei Shanhai realized that he could not detect the presence of Li Ningyin and Wei Zian in the residence. Does that mean Ningyin and Zian, their lives are still hanging by a thread? Wei Shanhai spoke with a furrowed brow. Just now, Wei Xinghe had recounted all that had happened during this period. This included the attempt to secretly send his wife and children away, a plan that ended up being discovered. But the lady and the young master should be fine. Otherwise, our adversaries would have already used them to threaten us, Housekeeper Wei analyzed. The problem is we have no idea where they are now, whether they've already reached the state mansion or are hiding somewhere. No matter what, we still need to confirm they are safe, Wei Shanhai said. Xiaohai, arrange for someone to check the state mansion first, then send others to scout outside the city. Yes, Grand Ancestor, I will make the arrangements right away, Housekeeper Wei responded. Actually, they had wanted to do this for a long time, but the presence of Tian Song sect's people had been looming over them like a specter, preventing them from daring to send out anyone carelessly. Now that the Grand Ancestor had returned, giving them a pillar of support, there were many tasks they felt reassured to undertake. After Housekeeper Wei left to arrange for manpower, Wei Xinghe turned to the Grand Ancestor. Grand Ancestor, are your injuries not serious? Approximately when will you recover? My injuries, I'm afraid, are beyond healing. At this moment, a look of weariness suddenly appeared on Wei Shanhai's face, his energy rapidly waning, and he seemed to age considerably as he slumped into his chair. Grand Ancestor, Wei Xinghe shouted in alarm. Don't make a fuss, Wei Shanhai gestured with his hand and sighed. Wang Cangyi's innate sword energy is indeed formidable. Having been struck by a sword, though I avoided the brunt of the damage, my heart meridians are still gravely wounded by a sword qi. With the Grand Ancestor's strength, is it really not possible to expel the sword qi? On my own, it's very difficult. Wei Shanhai shook his head. Wang Cangyi's innate sword energy is extremely toxic, akin to bone-corroding poison, entangling around my heart meridians. Given that our cultivation levels are on par, I cannot guarantee the sword qi can be purged without further damage to my own heart meridians. I can only suppress it temporarily with my true qi, preventing it from erupting. Upon hearing this, Wei Xinghe grew anxious. Then is there truly no other way? Unless there's assistance from another innate realm expert, who can work both internally and externally with me, using gentle true qi to protect my heart meridians, allowing me to fully focus my cultivation to completely purge the sword qi. Upon hearing this, Wei Xinghe felt a sense of despair. Explore more stories at my virtual library empire, not to mention innate realm experts, who are as elusive as dragons, rarely revealing themselves to the common folk. In their remote location, where could they find an innate realm expert on short notice? Moreover, even if by some of luck such an innate realm expert appeared, the risk of allowing another's innate realm true qi into one's heart meridians was too great. Human nature is unpredictable. If the other party harbors evil intentions, in an instant, they could completely destroy the Grand Ancestor's heart meridians. Then, even a deity descending to Earth could not reverse the damage. Wei Shanhai was also aware of the difficulty of this matter. Nevertheless, with a determined spirit, seeing Wei Xinghe's anxious expression, he comforted him instead. There's no need to be so dejected. The situation hasn't reached the final step. As long as I am alive, I can still protect our Wei family. Grand Ancestor, what are the consequences if the sword qi isn't purged? Wei Shanhai paused before speaking. Suppressing the sword qi puts a great strain on my heart meridians. Probably, after at most one more year, my heart meridians will not withstand it and will fail and die. Wei Xinghe fell silent. He had thought that with the Grand Ancestor's return, everything would be safe. Unexpectedly, the Grand Ancestor's injuries still posed such a significant hidden danger. At that moment, his previous joy evaporated. After pondering for a while, Wei Xinghe still unwillingly said, Grand Ancestor, is it possible to heal your injuries using that treasure? Unlikely, Wei Shanhai shook his head. That treasure is exceedingly mysterious and far from ordinary. It was by chance that I learned the Silver Moon battle formation and the cultivation technique I now practice from it and advance to the innate realm. For decades, I have been unable to glean anything more from it. There's no need to waste those years of accumulated foundation. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been stuck at the peak of the initial innate realm for so many years. But it is still a method, isn't it? Wei Xinghe quickly said, What if, Grand Ancestor, you experience life and death this time and are able to comprehend a higher realm from it? You sighed very well. I will give it a try. Wei Shanhai, seeing his insistence, sighed and agreed. At a time when Wei family seemed to have temporarily resolved another life and death crisis with the return of Wei Shanhai, elsewhere, in the county, discussions about the battle between Tian Song's sect and Wei family were gradually surfacing. There was no help for it, though the battling factions far surpassed any other power within the county. Logically, other minor forces should have steered clear, not daring to even glance towards such a conflict. But there are always those in the world who do not fear death. Within these forces, there are always spies painstakingly cultivated in secret. Hence, some of the inside stories of this battle eventually leaked, especially the conversation between the cloth-clothed youth and the two innate realm experts, which was unabashedly loud enough to echo throughout the city. Thus, everyone learned that there existed such a taboo for the reclusive and mysterious innate realm authorities. They were not to casually harm those below innate. I don't know what force Holy Mountain holds to be able to restrict the immensely powerful innate realm. Thank goodness such a ban exists, otherwise, we might all be dead by now. That momentum earlier was truly terrifying. Indeed, my heart was pounding so hard earlier. If those two had really started fighting, I fear half the county would have been destroyed, right? And what force does Tinji building belong to? Due to the power of the Holy Mountain sect, they hadn't completely evacuated the county, so the residents dared not talk loudly about it. However, private discussions were inevitable. Thus, before long, discussions about the great battle had spread throughout the entire county. At the same time, everyone couldn't help but breathe a huge sigh of relief. There was no helping it. When the two great innate realm powers clashed earlier, the might was truly too fearsome. The entire city had been silent then, not daring to even breathe. No one wished for those two to truly start fighting, because, after their battle, who knew if they would still be able to survive? Now that everyone knew fighting was not allowed casually in the city among the innate realm, everyone felt genuinely relieved. In these discussions, one person, as he listened, couldn't help but show a joyful expression on his face. But soon, he quickly concealed his joy and pretended as if nothing special had happened, joining the discussions with others. The next morning, after disguising himself a bit, he followed the crowd and quietly slipped out of the city. After leaving the city, he changed his route several times, even staying the night at his brother-in-law's house in the countryside, ensuring that no one was following him before he headed toward Jiuli Village. Upon arriving at Jiuli Village, he went straight to Lu Qing's house and saw Lu Qing practicing his punches in the courtyard. "Young Master Lu, Brother Tian?" Lu Qing looked up, a bit surprised. According to Ma Gu's instructions, shouldn't Tian and the others have dispersed and hidden after dealing with the corpses of the Black Wolf gang? Why would he appear here? "Brother Tian, why are you here?" Lu Qing felt a chill in his heart. Had something happened? "Young Master Lu, something big happened in the city these past 2 days. I specifically came to tell you," Tian said with some excitement. "Indeed." Lu Qing's expression became serious. "Come in, let's talk inside." Inside the house, little Yin hadn't woken up yet, and the table was set with freshly made breakfast. The steaming aroma made Tian involuntarily swallow. He had gotten up very early that morning and hadn't had the chance to eat at his brother-in-law's place before rushing here. "Brother Tian, did you have breakfast yet? Why not eat something here?" Lu Qing noticed his motion and asked. "No need. I have something important to tell you first." Tian shook his head, insisting. "All right, then go ahead." Lu Qing didn't press further, seeing how serious Tian was. Evidently, something important had happened in the city. Could it be that the Holy Mountain sect and the Wei family had finally started fighting? Just as this thought crossed Lu Qing's mind, he heard Tian start speaking. Just the day before yesterday, those foreign martial artists in the city officially declared war on the Wei family. They gathered many martial artists and launched a direct attack on Wei Mansion. Tian's first sentence already made Lu Qing's heart tremble. However, as Tian continued recounting, his expression gradually turned into astonishment. Just like that, the two great innate masters ended up not fighting after all, allowing us to escape a disaster. I took the opportunity to slip out of the city to tell you about it. After hearing Tian's account, Lu Qing fell into a long silence. There was no helping it. Tian's words contained too much information, and he needed to sort it out first. Seeing him in silence, Tian did not interrupt, quietly waiting. He knew young Master Lu was no ordinary person and understood far more than him. He didn't need to say much, he just needed to wait for his thoughts. However, During the wait, Xiao Tian, smelling the aroma of the food on the table, felt hungrier by the moment. Finally, his stomach uncontrollably growled. This sound also startled Lu Qing from his thoughts. He looked at the somewhat embarrassed Xiao Tian and smiled. "Brother Tian, don't be shy. Go ahead and eat something." "Yes, young master." This time, Xiao Tian did not hesitate and picked up a steamed bun to eat. After he finished 2 buns and drank a bowl of porridge, Lu Qing then asked, "Brother Tian, you mentioned that those in the innate realm are not to freely attack those below innate, nor battle within the city. Is that certain?" "Certain." Xiao Tian nodded seriously. This was personally stated by that official from the Tianji building when those 2 innate realm experts were about to fight. He rushed into the Wei mansion and proclaimed it to be a decree from the Holy Mountain, heard by the entire city. And in the end, those 2 innate realm experts really didn't fight, and the 4-1 left angrily. Lu Qing's fingers gently tapped on the tabletop. He hadn't expected that there were such decrees for the innate realm. What place was this Holy Mountain? It could restrain the innate realm powers of the world, and it seemed those innate realm individuals also did not dare to publicly defy it. What level of terrifying force must it be to have such a deterrent power? Stay tuned for updates on my virtual library empire. It appeared that this world indeed held many secrets, harboring numerous formidable forces unknown to the people. Even becoming an innate realm expert did not guarantee one could act as they pleased. However, this decree was beneficial for the present Lu Qing. It at least gave him more confidence in dealing with Wang Songi. Of course, this did not mean Lu Qing was not wary of Wang Songi anymore. A cornered dog will leap over a wall, and those in the innate realm were not made of clay. Anyone who could cultivate to such a realm was proud and independent. If he truly angered the other and invoked a murderous intent, any decree would be meaningless. If someone really wanted to kill, it was just a matter of intention. Could that so-called holy mountain revive a dead person at that point? Therefore, a proper reverence for the innate realm was still necessary. "Young Master Lu, now that the Wei family elder has returned and resolved their crisis, when can Master Ma come back?" asked Xiao Tian, a perceptive man. Although he hadn't seen Mrs. Wei and her son with his own eyes when he was in that large estate at the fair, from various clues in the events that followed, he had guessed some connections. He knew that his master's disappearance was likely related to the Wei family's matriarch and young son. "This matter is not urgent. You also said that the mysterious innate realm individual before leaving stated he would not rest easily. Clearly, the situation in the county is still tense. Under these circumstances, it is not suitable for Master Ma to appear, especially since where he is now is very safe," Lu Qing said. Xiao Tian thought so too and did not inquire further. As long as he knew Master Ma was fine, that was enough. After eating, Xiao Tian took his leave. He wanted to return to the county to continue gathering information. To this, Lu Qing could only advise him to be careful. After Xiao Tian left, Lu Qing went to wake little Yin from her bed, helped her wash up, have breakfast, and then took her and little Li to the half-mountain small courtyard. The news brought by Xiao Tian was very important, especially the information regarding the decree for the innate realm. He had to inform his master. Upon reaching half-mountain small courtyard, his master was just drying herbs. After Lu Qing relayed the news brought by Xiao Tian to his master, he then asked, "Master, having traveled for many years, have you ever heard of this decree or the forces of the Holy Mountain and Tianji building?" The elder doctor, after listening to Lu Qing's words, was quite surprised. Upon hearing his question, he seemed a bit lost. He shook his head and said, "I have never heard of these 2 names, nor have I heard of such a decree." Lu Qing wasn't surprised to hear that his master had never heard of those 2 mysterious forces. Although his master had once achieved great success in the internal realm and martial arts cultivation, he had always considered himself a doctor, never regarding himself as a martial artist. He spent the first half of his life wandering the countryside, treating the sick and saving lives, uninterested in the disputes among martial artists. So it wasn't surprising that he didn't know about these top forces. However, now that there was such a prohibition regarding the innate realm in the outside world, now that his master had become an innate realm martial artist, this was something that needed attention. Discover exclusive content at my virtual library empire. Lu Qing shared his thoughts with his master, but the elder doctor didn't care. "The old man here doesn't like to fight with others. Let the prohibition be a prohibition. It's rather peaceful that way." Lu Qing thought so too. His master always had the heart of medical benevolence, amiable with everyone. Sometimes, when patients were in a bad mood and lashed out, he would still comfort them with gentle words and rarely got angry. Getting him to fight others was as difficult as getting him to abandon a patient to death. For other innate realm individuals, the prohibition might be a restraint, but for his master, it really didn't seem to make any difference whether it existed or not. With that in mind, Lu Qing wasn't worried anymore. By the way, Master, there is something else your disciple wants to consult you about. Now that the Wei family's innate realm ancestor has returned, should your disciple Mrs. Wei and her son back to the county? As for the fact that Mrs. Wei and her son have been moved to the deep mountains, Lu Qing did not hide this from his master. The elder doctor thought for a moment and said, "Wait a few more days. The situation in the county is still unclear. It's better for us, master and disciple, not to get involved." I was thinking the same thing. After all, Mrs. Wei and her family are currently in a relatively safe situation. There is no need to rush back. According to what Xiao Tian had said, Wang Songi clearly hadn't given up on the Wei family's treasure and was still eagerly watching in the county. If Mrs. Wei and her family returned now, they would fall straight into Wang Songi's hands. Wouldn't that make them inadvertent saboteurs, hindering the Wei family? However, even though Mrs. Wei and her family couldn't return yet, they should still be informed about it. After spending half the morning with his master and finishing his studies for the day, Lu Qing then took Little Li and headed into the mountains. As for Little Yin, she had been recognizing more and more characters lately and could start reading some simple sentences with an effort. When the master learned of this, he was very pleased, knowing that Lu Qing often had to go into the mountains for cultivation, so he took the initiative to propose teaching Little Yin himself. Therefore, the little fellow's recent study tasks were not easy, with much to learn. Accompanied by Little Li, he arrived at the cave where Ma Gu and his group were hiding, and Lu Qing happened to see Wei Ziyan practicing stick technique. Lu Qing watched for a bit, noticing that his stick technique had become quite proficient, and he nodded in some satisfaction. Just as Ma Gu had said, Wei Ziyan indeed had a bit of talent for the path of martial arts. During this period, Lu Qing had taught him the simplified one-breath stick technique in its entirety. Now, it seemed that Wei Ziyan had been diligently practicing in private, without slacking off. Good, not bad. When Wei Ziyan had finished performing a set of stick techniques, Lu Qing then spoke out in praise. "Young Master Lu, you're here." Wei Ziyan turned his head and was immediately glad to see him. Mrs. Wei, who was resting in another cave room, came out upon hearing the voice. She was surprised. "Young Master Lu, why have you come so quickly this time?" According to past habits, Lu Qing usually visited only once every 3 or 4 days. But now, it had been only 1 day since his last visit. There is something minor. "Where is Elder Ma?" Lu Qing asked casually. "Master went out to see if he could find some small game to improve our meals." Lu Qing nodded, without further comment. As time slowly passed, everyone realized that the likelihood of that mysterious force coming back to search the mountains for them had become very small. So Ma Gu and the others had not been as tense as they were in the beginning. Their range of activities gradually ceased to be confined to the cave. Before long, Ma Gu came in holding 2 wild rabbits, both happy and surprised to see Lu Qing. Happy that Lu Qing had come, and surprised for fear something bad had happened outside. "All right, now that everyone's here, I do have some news to tell you." Hearing Lu Qing's words, both Ma Gu and Mrs. Wei tensed up. Indeed, there was a reason for Lu Qing's sudden visit. "Mrs. Wei, there's no need to be nervous. This is actually good news for you," Lu Qing said with a smile upon seeing Mrs. Wei's expression. "Young Master Lu, what exactly is it?" Mrs. Wei's expression eased when she heard it was good news, and she asked, "This morning, Brother Tian, Elder Ma's trusted man, came to look for me and informed me of a significant event that occurred in the county a couple of days ago. The Wei family's ancestor has safely returned." Lu Qing slowly retold what Xiao Tian had told him. Mrs. Wei and Xian's eyes widened more and more as they listened, and by the end, they were overjoyed. So, the Wei family's crisis is now essentially over. Madam and the young master can rest easy. Mom, our ancestor has come back. Does that mean we can go home? Xian asked excitedly. No, not yet. Although Mrs. Wei was also excited, she quickly calmed down. According to young Master Lu, those villains haven't given up on plotting for our family's treasure. It's still too risky for us to return now. Madam speaks wisely. Lu Qing nodded in approval. Although Mrs. Wei wasn't knowledgeable in martial arts, to remain so clear-headed upon hearing such great news was truly worthy of the Wei family's matriarch. That mysterious group, Having made such a big move, will definitely not leave so easily, he said. They are keeping the entire county under surveillance. If you return now, you will probably be walking right into the mouth of a tiger before even nearing the county, and this would only cause trouble for the family head and the others. Mother, what should we do then? Wei Ziyan had matured a lot recently and knew that his mother and the others had a clearer understanding of the situation, so he didn't stubbornly insist on returning. Wait, Mrs. Wei said firmly. Since nothing is amiss at the manor, that's already excellent news. We should, even more so, not cause any trouble for your father and ensure our own safety by staying peacefully in this forest. I refuse to believe that those people will stay in Song County forever. When they leave, that will be our time to return home. Perfectly. Aren't you also cultivating the stick technique taught to you by the young master? Use this time to diligently practice, and once you master it completely, you'll give your father a huge surprise when we get back, and he'll see you in a new light. Hearing his mother's words, Wei Ziyan immediately felt a surge of blood boil within him. He really wanted his father's approval. Without delay, he loudly declared, "Don't worry, Mother, I will train seriously. No, I will start cultivating right now." Watching Wei Ziyan, fired up by his mother's words with a newfound zeal for cultivation, Lu Qing and Ma Gu couldn't help but smile. The hearts of the youth are indeed easily swayed. Lu Qing had originally planned to Mrs. Wei and the others back to the manor after some time. However, the next day, the arrival of an unexpected visitor completely disrupted his plans. Returning from the mountains, Lu Qing went to the half-mountain small courtyard early the next morning, as usual, with Little Yin and Little Li. Little Yin went to learn her morning lessons from her master, while Lu Qing helped dry herbs in the courtyard. Suddenly, a gentle voice came from outside the courtyard. "Excuse me, is anyone home? Someone is here. Are you looking for a doctor? Come in, please." Lu Qing, busy with the herbs, didn't look up and casually replied, assuming it was just another villager seeking medical help early in the morning, an often occurrence. He thought nothing of it. However, he quickly sensed something was amiss. For the person's first words upon entering were full of praise. The plum blossoms nourished by the heaven and earth primordial chi must make exceptional tea. "May I ask for a cup to taste?" Lu Qing's body jolted, and he abruptly looked up at the visitor. He saw a plainly dressed, ordinary-looking, cloth-clothed youth standing at the courtyard entrance, smiling at him. Seeing Lu Qing look over, the youth praised again, at such a young age, to have achieved perfect bones and muscles, truly worthy of being a disciple of an innate grandmaster. Discover more content at my virtual library empire. Who are you? Lu Qing asked. His heart was secretly shaking. Even without using his superpower, he couldn't see through the visitor's martial arts realm. There seemed to be a layer of fog around him, completely concealing his aura. At a glance, he seemed like just any ordinary young person. But Lu Qing knew this was definitely no ordinary person. Someone who could so easily expose the reason behind the blooming of the plum tree in the courtyard and see through his martial arts realm couldn't possibly be an ordinary person. More importantly, even Little Li hadn't noticed the visitor's approach in advance, which was extremely unusual. Lu Qing immediately activated his superpower and looked at the newcomer. Very soon, a rich red light mixed with a glimmer of golden light emerged from the youth. Lin Jirue, true disciple of Central State Tianji Tower, gentle and calm nature, wise and strategic. Cultivation, completed the postnatal internal realm. Carries an exotic treasure that can conceal his own aura and fate, making him undetectable. Possesses various secret techniques, and with the help of the exotic treasure, can protect himself even against martial artists of the initial innate realm. It was him. Seeing the string of information appear in his vision, Lu Qing immediately knew who the visitor was. The same cloth-clothed youth who had appeared in the county and stopped the fight between Wang Songi and an ancestor of the Wei family, both of whom were in the innate realm. However, he hadn't expected the youth to be so formidable. Not being in the innate realm, yet possessing the strength not to fear those of the ordinary innate realm, was indeed incredible. No wonder Little Li hadn't detected the person in advance. It turned out he had an exotic treasure aiding him in concealing his aura. "I am Jirue from Tianji Building, a disciple who has come specially to pay respects to the newly advanced innate realm elder, Qinsong Qing," he declared. While Lu Qing was rapidly turning thoughts over in his mind, the cloth-clothed youth performed a respectful gesture. Even the name of his master was known. Lu Qing's heart was again greatly shocked. Besides himself and Little Yin, almost no one else knew his master's full name. Even the villagers only referred to him as Old Dr. Chen and were unaware of his full name. Unexpectedly, this cloth-clothed youth, whom he had never met before, was unmistakably clear about it. And furthermore, he knew that Master had been promoted to innate. Tianji building, indeed formidable. Lu Qing felt a tremor within, sensing the terror of these mysterious forces. He took a deep look at the cloth-clothed youth and then said, "Please wait a moment, I will go inform my master." Old Dr. Chen had already heard the noise outside. Seeing Lu Qing come in, he frowned and asked, "Qing, is the visitor the youth you mentioned yesterday?" "Yes, master. It's the same Mr. Jirue who claimed to be a disciple of Tianji building, and moreover, he seems to know you've ascended to the innate realm." Lu Qing was quite puzzled about this. According to Xiao Tian, this Lin Jirue should have been in the county these days. The county was not near their location, a distance of more than 100 miles. Given such a remote distance and the subtle nature of Master's breakthrough event, how had he come to know of my Master's achievement of the innate realm? Old Dr. Chen was also unclear about the reason but was not panicked. Having spent his life in healing and aiding people, the elder doctor had never done anything remorseful, upright, and forthright. He feared no one. "From what you said yesterday, this person must be from the righteous path. I will go out and meet him." He told little Yin to stay in the room and continue her studies while old Dr. Chen walked out with Lu Qing. The cloth-clothed youth, who had been waiting in the courtyard, was now under the plum tree, looking up to admire the full bloom. Hearing the sound, he turned his head, and on seeing Lu Qing and the others come out, his gaze immediately fell on old Dr. Chen. At the same time, a strange energy emanated from his eyes. Then, rapidly, he trembled, a respectful look appearing in his eyes, and he respectfully bowed to old Dr. Chen. Junior from Tianji building, Jirue, pays respects to Mr. Chen. "You need not be overly courteous, young man. Please take a seat." Old Dr. Chen smiled. "I dare not, Mr. Chen. You sit first," the cloth-clothed youth hurriedly said. After exchanging pleasantries for a while, with the cloth-clothed youth insisting on letting old Dr. Chen sit first, old Dr. Chen eventually reluctantly acquiesced. As for Lu Qing, being a disciple, he stood by waiting for orders. "May I know why Mr. Jirue has come to visit us?" After sitting down, old Dr. Chen directly asked, "Mr. Chen, I have come here wishing to ask for a cup of plum tea from you." The cloth-clothed youth did not immediately reveal his purpose but took a roundabout way of speaking. "That's simple. Qing, go bring my tea equipment and also some of the plum tea we dried a few days ago," old Dr. Chen ordered. "Yes, master." Lu Qing went inside and soon brought out the tea equipment and flower tea, then got the fire burning vigorously. When the spring water boiled, old Dr. Chen placed some plum blossoms into the cup to brew, and a peculiar aroma immediately rose. It was also miraculous. The plum tree had bloomed on the day old Dr. Chen had stepped into the innate realm. After so much time, the plum blossoms had still not fallen completely, continuing to bloom. It amazed every visitor who came for treatment. Old Dr. Chen discovered that, nourished by the primordial qi during his breakthrough, the plum blossoms on this tree had also become very special. Not only were they incredibly fragrant, they also had effects of nourishing the yin and yang, promoting salivation, and quenching thirst. So, he had collected the fallen blossoms and dried them to make flower tea. "Mr. Jirue, please." Lu Qing brought a cup of plum blossom tea to the cloth-clothed youth. "Thank you." The cloth-clothed youth took the tea, gently sipped it, and his eyes instantly narrowed. He closed his eyes and quietly savored the taste for a while. When he opened his eyes again, they were full of admiration. Such excellent plum tea. It moistens the mouth and is wonderfully fragrant, truly worthy of being nourished by the heaven and earth primordial qi. If you like it, Mr. Jirue, feel free to take some back with you when you return. The elder doctor, also a tea aficionado, felt somewhat pleased to see the high praise for the plum blossom tea he had carefully prepared. "Then I must thank Mr. Chen for his generosity," the cloth-clothed youth said joyfully. And so, Lu Qing went inside and packed up a small bundle of plum blossom tea. After finishing a cup of plum tea, the cloth-clothed youth put down the cup, and his face suddenly became serious. "I think Mr. Chen must be very curious about how I came to know that you had made a breakthrough to the innate realm." "Indeed, I am somewhat puzzled," the elder doctor admitted honestly. At the time of his breakthrough, he hadn't sensed anyone spying nearby, and after the breakthrough, he had never shown his innate realm abilities in front of others. He genuinely did not know how the cloth-clothed youth had come to learn about his breakthrough. "Mr. Chun need not be concerned. It was purely by coincidence that I came to know about your breakthrough. not due to intentional prying. It's just that at the time of the breakthrough, I was in the county, carrying an exotic treasure from my sect. I happened to sense the changes in the heaven and earth chi in this area, and from that, I knew that a postnatal martial arts grandmaster, 100 miles away, was comprehending the heaven and earth primordial chi, inducing the energy into the body, and achieving innate. However, in these past days, the situation in the county has been somewhat tense, and I couldn't leave right away. That's why it has taken until today for me to visit Mr. Chen. The cloth-clothed youth explained. Besides not being able to leave, he was probably also investigating my master's background. Lu Qing thought to himself. But now he understood why the other party knew so much about his teacher. His teacher often traveled to and from the county, and even the county lord had met him. His identity and residence were no secret among the nobility in the city. With the cloth-clothed youth's status, it would naturally not be difficult to investigate thoroughly. However, the exotic treasure carried by the cloth-clothed youth could sense the changes in the heaven and earth chi from 100 miles away, which was indeed a bit terrifying. No wonder, it's surprising that there exists such a miraculous exotic treasure in this world. I must truly be ignorant. The elder doctor exclaimed. This is the exotic treasure of our sect, known to but a few. Mr. Chen being a person of utmost virtue, concerned only with treating and saving people, it's normal that you haven't heard of it, the cloth-clothed youth said with a smile. What utmost virtue? I'm just a Jianghu traveling doctor. Treating and saving people is merely my duty. I really can't accept such high praise. The elder doctor quickly gestured with his hand. The cloth-clothed youth smiled, not arguing with the elder doctor. If a person endowed with the merit light can't be called a person of utmost virtue, then there would be no good people left in the world. To be honest, the cloth-clothed youth's heart was still somewhat shocked. That was the merit light, which generally only those who have done countless good deeds and accumulated immense merit could possibly condense. Although the merit light on the elder doctor was faint, the merit light was still the merit light, and not something easily condensed. Even in the few mysterious lands like the Suspended Temple, not many people possess such treasure light. It was unexpected for him to see it on a relatively unknown Jianghu traveling doctor. How many illnesses must he have treated? How many people must he have saved to have accumulated such an abundance of merit? Mr. Chen, in addition to coming for a cup of your plum tea, there is another matter I wish to discuss with you. Please speak candidly, the elder doctor indicated. Lu Qing's heart tensed, knowing that the real issue was about to be addressed. I wonder if Mr. Chen has heard of the name Holy Mountain? The cloth-clothed youth asked. This old man is of limited experience and has not heard of it. The elder doctor shook his head. Holy Mountain is a place of mystery and greatness, responsible for maintaining the order of this continent. Even the few mysterious lands such as the Suspended Temple, the Cold Water Palace, and Qingyang Temple all recognize its status. All the major families and sects in the world likewise hold it in awe. As the cloth-clothed youth narrated, the elder doctor and Lu Qing gradually came to a rough understanding of the so-called Holy Mountain. Holy Mountain was a very special force. Unlike the standard sect force, 1,000 years ago, it was elected jointly by several mysterious lands and many families and sects across the world to be the organization responsible for discussing and maintaining the order of this continent. Using Lu Qing's understanding, it was similar to the international body with the name united from his previous world. However, different from that body, which could only quibble over everything, Holy Mountain itself possessed formidable martial arts power. The power it wielded, apart from the other few mysterious lands, even the large sects couldn't compare. Holy Mountain held a superior status, never involving itself in the struggles between various forces. Even when wars broke out between nations, it would remain a spectator and not intervene. Holy Mountain's concern was generally for the order that could affect the grand scheme of the human race. For example, the order between innate realm individuals and ordinary martial artists, and even ordinary people. The innate realm was too powerful. Once a martial artist stepped into the innate, capable of refinement of heaven and earth primordial chi, their strength would increase rapidly. To the average postnatal martial artists, facing them would be almost no different from facing ordinary people. The combat style in the innate realm was no longer limited to simple punches and kicks or sword and saber clashes. Instead, a mere wave of the hand could produce sword chi and saber light that easily slaughtered dozens or hundreds of people. Powerful innate realm experts could even slaughter the entire population of a city in a short time. Such formidable power, if not restrained, could have unimaginable consequences. History had recorded more than one instance where innate realm martial artists, over some trifling argument or disagreement, had come to blows within a city. By the time they had settled their dispute, the small city had been nearly ruined and countless lives had been lost. As such incidents became more frequent, the major families and sect forces realized that this could not be allowed to continue. Martial artists of the innate realm might stand high above others, but ordinary humans were also the foundation of the human race and should not be slaughtered so indiscriminately. Therefore, after much deliberation, the Holy Mountain issued a ban. It stated that innate realm martial artists must not arbitrarily attack humans below innate, nor stir up battles of innate level within the cities. Violators would be imprisoned in the Holy Mountain to reflect on their actions for minor offenses, and for severe ones, death without discussion. Mr. Chen, I know you have always disliked conflict, but as an innate realm martial artist now, this ban also applies to you, the cloth-clothed youth said. I've come to inform you of this matter. I hadn't realized such a ban existed, but rest assured, it's a great virtue, and I will comply, the elder doctor replied, stroking his beard and readily agreeing. Seeing the elder doctor's consent, the cloth-clothed youth also showed a smile. Of course, the ban specifies that innate realm experts must not initiate conflict with those below innate, but grandmasters must not be insulted. If provoked or offended deliberately, even if the innate realm expert kills the offender, they will not be punished. Lu Qi nodded. That was only right, after all. In this world, power still commanded respect. How could martial arts experts capable of reaching the innate realm tolerate being treated like cowards? If one couldn't retaliate when provoked by someone much weaker, then what was the point of having such a powerful cultivation? Without that understanding, such a ban would never have been accepted by the major powers. Moreover, the Holy Mountain won't let innate realm experts abide by this ban for nothing, the cloth-clothed youth continued. Every newly advanced innate realm expert who agrees to abide by this ban will have the opportunity to cultivate in the holy pool of the Holy Mountain for 3 days during their lifetime. This opportunity is valid forever. For you, Mr. Chen, this is an excellent opportunity. Oh, and why is that? The elder doctor inquired. The Holy Mountain is a land of great mystery and wonder, full of opportunities for the fortunate. Among them, one of the greatest is the holy pool atop the Holy Mountain. The holy pool is mysterious and marvelous, possessing the unbelievable ability to assist one in sudden enlightenment and breaking through their cultivation bottlenecks. It's extremely miraculous. Even the dullest martial artist, if they were to cultivate there, could make rapid progress, a truly wondrous thing. Upon hearing the cloth-clothed youth's explanation, even the elder doctor couldn't help but yearn for such an experience. Truly, the world is vast and full of marvels. Everything Ji Rui has mentioned are things this old man has never heard or seen before. This time, I truly have gained insight, the elder doctor exclaimed. Mr. Chen, this jade token is the proof recognized by the Holy Mountain. I will convey your information to the sect, and it will be passed on to Holy Mountain. When you arrive in Central State, you may inquire at Tianji Building with this jade token to find the location of Holy Mountain, the cloth-clothed youth said, handing a small jade token to the elder doctor. The elder doctor took the jade token, feeling a stir in his heart. The quality of the jade in this jade token closely resembled that of the inheritance jade scroll given to him by Qing before. After giving out the jade token, the cloth-clothed youth stood up. Mr. Chen, my main purpose for this visit was to inform you about the ban. Now that I've done so, I must take my leave, said the youth. You're leaving so soon, Ji Rui? Won't you stay for a meal? The elder doctor offered. No, the situation in the city is not yet settled, and I should not be away for too long. I need to return, the cloth-clothed youth declined. Speaking of which, I have heard about the incidents in the county. May I inquire with Ji Rui? When will the Wei Mansion's peril be resolved? The elder doctor asked. To his surprise, the cloth-clothed youth shook his head. The crisis of the Wei family is likely difficult to resolve. It seemed he was not surprised that the elder doctor would bring up such a matter. The elder doctor was shocked. What do you mean? Although the Wei family's ancestor has returned, his heart meridians were wounded by the sword Qi of Elder Wang Sangyi from the Heaven Sect. Now with the sword Qi deeply embedded and hard to eliminate, if it remains within his heart meridians, given his cultivation, he might not last a year. If Wang Sangyi has enough patience to wait a year, and once the Wei family's ancestor passes away, that could be the very moment the Wei family faces extinction. Can't you do anything to prevent all this? The elder doctor urgently asked. The cloth-clothed youth shook his head. TNG building has its principles and never intervenes in the conflicts between various powers. Unless Wang Tsangi himself takes action, then I have no reason to interfere. Hearing this, the Elder Doctor fell into a long silence. Seeing the Elder Doctor's silence, the cloth-clothed youth hinted, the key to the Wei family's survival now lies in the injury of their patriarch. If his health can be fully restored, the Wei family will naturally be safe. If he passes away with a flickering flame, then the Wei family's peril will be imminent. The Elder Doctor's heart stirred, and he fell into deep thought. Seeing that the Elder Doctor had understood his meaning, the cloth-clothed youth smiled. He nodded to Lu Qing as a form of greeting, then picked up the small bag of plum blossom tea from the table and floated out of the courtyard, heading down the mountain. After confirming that the cloth-clothed youth had left, Lu Qing asked, "Master, what should we do now?" Although he didn't specify, the Elder Doctor knew that Lu Qing was referring to the Wei family's situation. The Elder Doctor sighed. It seems that this old man cannot escape involvement this time. "Master, do you intend to go to Wei Mansion to heal the Wei family's ancestors' injuries?" Based on what Ji Rue said earlier, I'm probably the only one who can heal the Wei family ancestors' wounds. We've seen the people from the Wei family before. They are not bad people. I cannot stand idly by and watch them be slaughtered. Watching his master's serious expression, Lu Qing knew that if his master didn't go this time, and the Wei family were indeed wiped out in the future, he would likely be plagued by guilt for the rest of his life. If he had not known about the severity of the Wei family ancestors' injuries, it would be different. But now that he did, he couldn't deceive himself. There was no helping it. His master simply had that kind-hearted nature. Now that he thought about it, that cloth-clothed youth must have calculated his master's personality before deliberately making those remarks before leaving. Since master wants to go, then let's go. I support you in this, Lu Qing said. However, master, how do you plan to get there? Sneak into Wei Mansion quietly? I'm afraid that won't work. The Elder Doctor shook his head. The Wei family's ancestors' injuries are to the heart meridians. With such a critical issue, how can they trust a stranger of the innate realm who bursts into their home unannounced? Moreover, after cultivating to the innate realm, we need to often use divine soul power to merge with heaven and earth primordial chi, inducting energy into our bodies and refining it into our own innate true chi. Over time, one inevitably becomes imbued with a hint of the world's essence, which is difficult to conceal. Postnatal martial artists cannot detect it, but it cannot be hidden from other martial artists of the innate realm. If I were to sneak into Wei Mansion and the Wei family's ancestor mistook my intentions, leading to a conflict, then I would be completely without defense. The Elder Doctor might not have understood other matters, but when it came to difficult patience, he was all too familiar. Lu Qing recalled what the cloth-clothed youth had said. Indeed, if such a misunderstanding caused a battle of innate-level fighters in the county, it'd be a grave injustice. So, we need someone from Wei Mansion who is sufficiently trusted to introduce us and avoid this unnecessary conflict. A flash of insight struck Lu Qing. Mrs. Wei and young Master Wei. That is a good idea, but I'm afraid that might entail some risks for them, the Elder Doctor said. We're acting to save the Wei family. I'm sure Mrs. Wei will understand, Lu Qing said. He knew that if Mrs. Wei found out the reason, she would likely be even more anxious than him and his master. All right, go and bring them out of the mountain. We'll depart for the county this afternoon, the Elder Doctor nodded. So, Lu Qing took Little Li and rushed into the mountains. Your adventure continues at my virtual library empire after the cloth-clothed youth's visit. He had specifically told Little Li to hide and not to meet with him. After all, the youth's exotic treasure was too mysterious, even able to sense changes in heaven and earth's aura from 100 miles away. Although he wasn't sure if hiding Little Li was effective, it was still better to avoid a meeting as much as possible. But it seemed the cloth-clothed youth had not detected that he had cultivated divine soul power. This showed that his exotic treasure wasn't omnipotent. At least not every piece of information could be discovered by it. Unfortunately, the cloth-clothed youth did not display the exotic treasure, so Lu Qing's superpower could not probe and discern what exotic treasure it was. Rushing with Little Li, Lu Qing soon reached the cave where Ma Gu and the others were hiding. Luckily, all three were inside the cave. Brother Lu Qing, what's happened? Seeing Lu Qing enter, Ma Gu and the others were shocked. None of them expected that Lu Qing, who had just left the day before, would return so soon. Let's talk on the way. Gather your things. We're preparing to leave the mountain. Young Master Lu, what exactly has happened? Can you tell us now? In the forest, Lu Qing, who was carrying Mrs. Wei, asked. A look of nervousness was evident on his face. Just moments ago, Lu Qing had suddenly arrived, instructing everyone to pack their belongings and saying they needed to leave the mountain immediately. Although everyone was unclear about the reason, they trusted Lu Qing and, despite their anxiety, did as they were told. Now, walking through the forest, Mrs. Wei could no longer contain her curiosity. This morning, a cloth-clothed youth, the same one I mentioned to you yesterday, who stopped the battle between your ancestral master and that mysterious disciple of Tianji building from the innate realm, came to visit my master and brought some rather distressing news. Your Wei family's ancestral master from the innate realm was ambushed by that mysterious figure from the innate realm and injured in the heart meridian by innate sword energy, a severe injury that's hard to heal. If the sword wound isn't treated soon, he'll have at most 1 more year to live. Lu Qing explained slowly. How could this be? Mrs. Wei and the others were shocked to hear this. This was told by the disciple from Tianji building named Ji Rue. Given his actions in the county recently, there's no need for him to deceive us about this matter, so it must be true. Mrs. Wei and the others' spirits were immediately thrown into disarray. They had thought that after the return of their ancestral master, everything at home would stabilize, and they could peacefully await the day they returned home. They had not expected such a serious hidden danger in their ancestral master's injury. After a while, Mrs. Wei calmed her spirit and continued. Then, the reason young Master Lu has us leaving the mountain is, even if their ancestral master was gravely injured, with their limited abilities, they couldn't be of much help. It seemed there was no reason for them to leave the mountain. My master, upon hearing of your ancestral master's condition, intends to try to go to the county to see if he can resolve his injuries. However, as you know, the situation in the county is complicated right now, and your mansion is likely very cautious about outsiders. If just my master and I were to visit, it might be difficult not only to gain your family's trust, but might also lead to misunderstandings. That's why we thought to ask you and the young master to come down from the mountain with us and return to the county together. Does your master feel confident in treating our ancestral master's injuries? Mrs. Wei asked, visibly relieved. There's no absolute certainty, as he hasn't yet examined your ancestral master personally. Everything is difficult to predict, but we must try, mustn't we? Lu Qing did not oversell the assurance, but Mrs. Wei discerned a deeper meaning in Lu Qing's words. If the elder doctor had no confidence at all, why would he risk coming to the county? A spark of hope ignited in her heart. Then let me, on behalf of our Wei family, first thank young Master Lu and your master for their righteous assistance. Mrs. Wei was incredibly grateful. Given the Wei family's current situation, most people would avoid them at all costs. No one would dare to involve themselves with them. It was fortunate enough that someone was not kicking them while they were down. For Lu Qing and the others to repeatedly offer help and attempt to save her and her son, and even the entire Wei family, she was truly at a loss for how to express her gratitude. As they walked through the forest, when they finally emerged, they went straight to the half-mountain small courtyard. The elder doctor was already waiting in the courtyard. Seeing everyone had returned, he smiled. Everyone is back? Mrs. Wei, who had already dismounted from Lu Qing's back, performed a courteous bow. Ningyan has seen the elder doctor. In the past, you saved my son from the brink of death, and Ningyan has not been able to visit to express thanks personally, which is truly embarrassing. Hee, it's all trivial matters. No need to worry about it. The elder doctor stroked his beard and chuckled. Greetings to the elder doctor. At this time, Wei Ziyan also came forward to bow. The elder doctor examined his complexion and nodded. You've recovered well and have grown much stronger. Yes, I have been training in martial arts recently with my master and Dr. Lu Xiao. I feel much better than before. Wei Ziyan gripped the wooden staff in his hands and spoke cheerfully. Good, very good. The elder doctor also noticed that Wei Ziyan's temperament seemed to have changed significantly and was very pleased. As for Ma Gu, since he used to come here often, he was already considered an acquaintance. Therefore, not much cordial exchange was needed. He simply performed a bow to the elder doctor. Elder doctor, when do we depart? After some pleasantries, Mrs. Wei inquired. Ever since she learned of her ancestral master's condition, her heart had been somewhat uneasy. There's no rush at this very moment. You've just come out from the mountains, go freshen up and have some lunch, and after you've restored your spirits, then we'll set off, the elder doctor said. Magu and the others had been living in a cave, and although they weren't lacking food and drink, other aspects were certainly inconvenient. Now they all looked somewhat disheveled and weary. enjoy more content from my virtual library empire. Mrs. Wei also knew that their current state was somewhat improper and understood that haste wouldn't help in saving the Wei family. Thus, she didn't oppose the elder doctor's arrangement and went to freshen up. The elder doctor had already prepared hot water for them, and once Mrs. Wei and the others returned clean, they saw Lu Qing was already busy in the kitchen, with bursts of food fragrance drifting from inside. "Sister, you should take a good look." Just then, Mrs. Wei heard a sweet voice. She looked down and saw a little girl standing in front of her, tilting her head curiously at her. Seeing the angelic, elfin little girl before her, Mrs. Wei felt a surge of affection. She bent down to lift little Yin and asked, "Little one, what's your name?" "I'm Lu Xiaoyan." "Sister, who are you?" Little Yin asked cheerily. "So it's little Yin," said a voice. "I'm not your sister, call me Andy. I'm your brother's friend. My last name is Li." Mrs. Wei instantly knew that this little girl was the one in air, and the others had talked about, Lu Qing's sister. She just hadn't expected that little Yin would be so pretty. Even the girls in the city couldn't compare to her delicate and charming appearance. "Auntie?" Little Yin compared her to the Andys in her village, a bit confused. "But Annies aren't as young as you, are they?" "Little one, you really are adorable." No woman would dislike being called young, and upon hearing this innocent and bubbly remark, Mrs. Wei burst into joyous laughter. Holding the soft and fragrant little Yin, she didn't want to let go. Little Yin also liked this beautiful and kind Andy very much, finding her incredibly warm. So the two of them, one big and one small, began to chat happily. Their cheerful expressions made Wei Zian, who was standing nearby, somewhat stunned. Since they had fled, this was the first time he had seen such a genuinely happy smile on his mother's face. "Little Yin, the food will be ready soon. Set the tableware and get ready to eat." While the two were happily chatting, Lu Qing's voice emanated from the kitchen. "I can eat now, Auntie. You sit here. I'll go help my brother." Upon hearing this, little Yin immediately jumped out of Mrs. Wei's arms and ran to the kitchen. "I'll come help too," said Mrs. Wei, following her into the kitchen. Then she saw little Yin fetching bowls from the cupboard. As for the kitchen, many dishes were already prepared. Several vegetarian dishes were placed on a small table nearby. A steaming pot was being heated, suggesting something was being steamed inside. Next to it, a clay pot was simmering soup, and beside that, a crock pot bubbled with bright red chunks of meat. Looking at the dishes and smelling the rich aroma, Mrs. Wei couldn't help but swallow her saliva. These days, hidden in the mountains, although they weren't short of food, it was obviously impossible to eat well. Suddenly seeing so many delicious-looking dishes, even someone with her discipline felt a bit greedy. "Madam, why are you here?" "The kitchen is full of smoke. Be careful not to irritate your eyes." It was Lu Qing, actively managing the fire, who hurriedly said this. "I came to see if there's anything I can help with," Mrs. Wei responded. "No need. The dishes are almost ready. Madam, you just need to bring out these vegetarian dishes. I'll finish steaming this fish, and then we can eat," Lu Qing said with a smile. "All right." After Mrs. Wei brought out the dishes, little Yin also confidently carried a large stack of bowls out of the kitchen. "Little Yin, let me help you," Mrs. Wei quickly said, looking concerned. "No need, Andy, I can manage." The little one declined. Little Yin had taken the Earth Vein Spirit Liquid and absorbed the primordial Qi white mist gathered from the Elder Doctor's breakthrough moment. Her physical condition was exceptional. Your next chapter is on my virtual library empire in terms of strength. She probably surpassed many village children over the age of 10. So, carrying a few bowls was indeed a simple task. Once the tableware was set, Lu Qing's fish was also perfectly steamed. Soon, a full table of dishes was neatly arranged. "All right, let's eat." As Lu Qing placed the freshly steamed fish in the center of the table and clapped his hands, little Li was already feasting on a dish of fish in some corner outside. Qing's cooking skills are getting better and better. The elder doctor, sitting in the main seat, laughed. "Yes, the food my brother cooks is the tastiest." Little Yin sat on her little stool, her face beaming with pride. As for Ma Gu and the others, looking at the table full of delicious dishes, their eyes widened. Steamed fish, chicken soup, braised rabbit meat, fried fish, and stir-fried vegetables. How long had it been since they had tasted such dishes? "Brother Lu Qing, what dish is this?" Ma Gu pointed to the bubbling red, shiny meat in the crock pot. "This is braised pork. It tastes quite good," Lu Qing answered. "All right, no need to be polite. Let's eat." The elder doctor spoke up, picking up a piece of fried fish first. Seeing the elder doctor begin, everyone else started picking up their chopsticks. Magoo and Wei Zian, specifically, reached for the braised pork in the crockpot first. They couldn't help it. The trembling, glossy hunks of meat were just too tempting. Placing a piece of braised pork into their mouths, they experienced the sensation of it melting instantly alongside a burst of rich meaty aroma, and their eyes widened in surprise. Neither had ever tasted such delicious and aromatic meat. Dr. Lu Xiao, what meat is this made from? And how can it be so flavorful? Wei Zian couldn't help asking. This is pork. I bought it from the butcher in the neighboring village this morning, Lu Qing answered with a smile. Pork can taste this good? Wei Zian was somewhat incredulous. After this period of hardship, he was no longer the delicate young master who felt nauseated at the mention of pork. But he still couldn't believe that meat from the seemingly dirty pig could taste so exquisite. Ordinary pork, naturally, can't be cooked to have such a rich flavor, but this braised pork has undergone some special treatment by me, making it tastier than regular pork. These days, Lu Qing often roamed the mountains and, occasionally using his superpower to explore, discovered several plants that could replace some contemporary seasoning ingredients. As a result, his cooking skills had also improved significantly. Now, the braised pork could be made to taste nearly as good as it had in his previous life. Mrs. Wei saw how deliciously her son was eating the dish. Although she initially wasn't too keen on fatty-looking meat, she couldn't resist trying a small piece. Then, she too was amazed. The pork looked greasy but wasn't fatty at all. Instead, it was rich and fragrant, perfect with rice. After tasting the other dishes, they were even more surprised. The chicken soup was savory, the steamed fish was sweet and fresh, the fried fish was crispy and aromatic, and even the greens were delicious. Each dish's flavor was beyond their expectations. So everyone had their fill, thoroughly pleased and satisfied, leaving not a single leftover. Even the last bit of sauce from the pork was scooped up with rice by Ma Gu and Wei Zian. Even Mrs. Wei, who was usually very restrained, couldn't help having an extra bowl of chicken soup after she was full. Brother Lu Qing, I'm really starting to regret not having meals at your place before. How many delicacies have I missed out on? After the feast, Ma Gu was full of remorse. Haha, it's not too late to come over in the future. Just means more chopsticks, Lu Qing laughed. That's for sure. Even if you don't invite me, I'm going to shamelessly stick around for meals, Ma Gu joked. Seeing this, Wei Zian looked on enviously. If his family didn't live in the city, he too would like to come by for meals often. But then, he thought, Ma Gu was now his master. As a disciple, it was only right to visit the master often, right? And if by accident he also came over to young Master Lu's place for a meal, that would be normal too, wouldn't it? Wei Zian couldn't help but feel pleased with his own cleverness. Even Mrs. Wei was almost tempted by the idea. Unfortunately, she knew that with her status, once she returned to her residence, it wouldn't be easy to come out again. For a moment, the meal made everyone's mood relax, and they seemed to forget the upcoming trip to the county. But what needed to be faced had to be faced eventually. After the meal, there was a silence, and the elder doctor finally spoke. Qing, get ready. We're about to leave. Yes, master. Lu Qing nodded and went out to prepare. With the members of the Tian Song sect around, they couldn't just stroll into the county openly. They still had to disguise themselves. So Lu Qing went to the village to borrow a set of clothes for Mrs. Wei and Wei Zian to wear. He also borrowed old Zhang's docile ox and cart from next door, loading it with some medicinal herbs. Once everything was ready, Lu Qing, with the war saber and a covered bamboo basket on his back, lifted little Yin onto the cart. Indeed, he had decided to take little Yin with him this time. The trip to the county was fraught with danger, and he and his master were unsure what might happen. Leaving little Yin alone in the village without little Li was not something he was comfortable with. The two siblings had been each other's sole support, so this time they would set out together. After all, he and his master would never let anyone harm little Yin before they themselves fell. Brother, where are we going? Little Yin, seated excitedly in the cart, asked. We're going to the county. Haven't you always wanted to see the city? Well, this is your chance. To the city? Yes, yes. Little Yin was immediately delighted. She had never been to the city before. Mrs. Wei, please help take care of little Yin along the way, Lu Qing said to Mrs. Wei, who was also seated in the cart. I will. Experience more tales on my virtual library empire. Mrs. Wei, dressed as a village woman, held little Yin tightly. She hadn't expected Lu Qing to bring little Yin along, but she could feel Lu Qing's determination and knew persuading him might be futile. so she silently made a vow. Unless it cost her life, she would not let little Yin come to harm. Once everything was in place, the elder doctor took the lead with the cart, cracked the whip, and the wheels of the cart began to turn slowly as they headed out of the village. Lu Qing, Ma Gu, and Wei Zian walked alongside the cart. The villagers were unaware of what Lu Qing and the others were setting out to do, and they were oblivious to Mrs. Wei and her son's true identities. They just thought they were accompanying the elder doctor to the city. Seeing Lu Qing and the group setting off, the villagers bid them farewell without much additional sentiment. Now that Lu Qing was so capable, they were not worried about him. As the cart reached the edge of the village, the elder doctor stopped. Lu Qing walked forward and, from beneath a stone slab under the letter tree, took out 3 red ropes and wrapped them around the tree. "Young Master Lu, what is this?" When Lu Qing returned, Mrs. Wei asked. "This is a tradition of our village. Everyone who leaves the village must tie a red rope on it." Lu Qing gave her a brief explanation, but the simplicity of his words made Mrs. Wei's heart tremble fiercely. The hands holding little Yin tightened even more. Ma Gu and Wei Zian standing by also firmed their expressions. In their hearts, they made a certain resolution. The whip cracked again, and the ox cart moved forward, slowly advancing. The cart passed through the woods, startling a flock of birds that burst suddenly into flight. At dawn, the sun began its ascent. "Wow, it's so beautiful." Sitting atop the ox cart, little Yin exclaimed in wonder. At this moment, Lu Qing and the others had left the forest and were in the midst of a plain. Surrounding them were vast expanses of fields with many cottages nestled among them. Lu Qing's ox cart was traveling on a wide official road through the center of these fields. Being the golden autumn, the fields were a beautiful golden hue. No wonder little Yin was so amazed. Compared to the disjointed patches of rice fields to the east and west of Jioli village, the sensation of vast contiguous rice paddies was truly stunning. "Brother Lu Qing, a bit further ahead is the county city," said Ma Gu, pointing at the tall city walls in the distance. Looking at the city in the distance, Lu Qing was somewhat surprised. He had thought the county city wouldn't be very large, but he was wrong. Just by looking at the height of the walls, he feared the county city was much larger than those so-called ancient cities he had seen on his travels in his previous life. No wonder Master had said before that the city was another world. Just from what was before his eyes, compared to the area...
Yeah. Yo, sorry about that. I did not see the message until just now. And yes, this is the free version of this game. It's called Project Ascension. World of Warcraft Project Ascension. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long ago you did send that message. My bad. Okay. But yeah, it is this is the free version of this game. You can see right here. It's called Project Ascension. No, this is a free. This is a free server. Project Ascension is a free server where you can play all the way up to level 70. You can play all the way up to Burning Crusade. So you can play all the way up to Burning Crusade. They're working on adjusting the what do you call it? They're working to adjust the Rise of the Lich King. They're working to adjust that. So right now they only have the base game and then Burning Crusade. But yes, this is a free to play version. Yes, it's like Horizon, but it's the WoW version of Horizon. So there's a difference between this game and the retail game for WoW, for World of Warcraft is the class system in this game is very different. So back in the retail version, so back in retail, the retail version, there are specific classes. All right, there are set classes. The Dark Knight, Druid. Well, Dark Knight is not available yet. It's not available yet because it's a Rise of the Lich King. It's part of Rise of the Lich King, so it's not available just yet. So you cannot play that yet. But the original classes: Druid, Hunter, Mage, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Shaman, Warlock, and Warrior. Those are the original classes. But the thing about Project Ascension is that you can pick and choose any spells from any class and use those. You get these things called ability essence, and while you level up, and you use those ability essence to unlock the new abilities. So you get them from new abilities, and you can mix, match, and choose. So if you want to be where am I? Which way is it? Okay, so it's this way. So let's say if you want to be a mage healer, you can be a mage healer. If you want to be a heavy armor healer, you can be a heavy armor healer. If you want to be a great. Lock themselves in. If you want to be a mage casting rogue, you can do that. If you want to be a magic casting DPS, you can no. If you want to be a magic casting warrior, you can choose it. So you can basically mix and match the different abilities in order to make however class you want. Right now, I'm just doing straight up Ice Mage. So right now I'm just playing a straight up Ice Mage, which is the retail version, because there are on the mage class there are 3 different specs. There's an arcane spec, there's a fire spec, and then there's a frost spec. So I'm going down the original the frost mage spec. So I'm choosing only skills from this one for now. So yeah, for now I'm only choosing abilities from this spec, but I will once I get up to probably level 40, because the last spell is all the way over till 75. And we don't actually get 75. So once I get up to 40, because 70 is the max, not 75. Once I get up to 40, I'm gonna go into other specs from other. I'll go into another spec from another class. I'm not sure exactly which one I'm gonna do, but I will choose a different spec to get more levels, more skills from and stuff like that. Because once I reach 40 will be the last frost mage spell that I can get. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game. And if you do decide to actually play, we could play, we could play together. If you don't know something, just let me know. Because it is a fun game, but it's even more fun when you actually have people to play with. When you have when you get actually have a group that you can play with. Because years ago when I was playing it I used to have a free company, which in here it's called guild. So I used to have a free company with people that I would normally play with, but because I'm not playing the retail version and this is the free version, and this is basically the free version. Ring of Law? There's a Ring of Law. And yeah, so because this is the free version, they're not playing on here and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a fun game. Also, if you are going to play, let me show you something real quick. If you are going to play, there's only 2 servers to play on right now, and I'll show you a little bit. So on this one that I'm playing right now. Okay. So there's 2 servers that you can play on right now. One is called Free Pick Server, and it's basically, this is the one that you can pick and choose whichever skills you want from whatever class you want and mix and match. That's what this one is. And then this one right here, Wild Card. This right here is every time you reach certain levels, you shuffle through all of the skills and spells from the whole entire game, and you get a random spell or skill to play. Let me show you real quick. Okay, so here what you do is okay, so whenever you reach a certain level, right, you get a random shuffle for a skill. So let's I don't want this skill right here. Ooh, damn. Okay, so I can't do it right now because in order to do a random shuffle, you need something known as Scroll of Fortune, and I have no Scroll of Fortune, so I can't randomly shuffle. But if we look around, we should be able to see somebody doing it. I don't see anybody doing it. Oh, there goes the person right there doing it. Another one doing it right here. Damn, and I don't got no points, so I can't show you. I can't show you this shuffle, but you get it shuffles through all of the skills in the game, and you get a random skill. And you need a Scroll of Fortunes in order to do shuffle again to get a different random skill. But let's say if there's a skill that you want, you will have to go to skill cards, and in the skill cards you have to unlock the skill cards though. But in the skill cards you'll get certain abilities and stuff like that once you unlock them, and you can click on the skill that you want, and when you click on the skill they get placed right here, and these skills are guaranteed. You're guaranteed to get these skills once you get a level up, and you get the chance to learn a new ability. But yeah, that's how this one works. And the free pick one, it's just like it sounds. It allows you to choose and build however you want. So you can match up however kind of gameplay that you wanna create. Okay, I need to. Okay, so I need to hop off for a bit. So yeah, I need to hop off for a bit. Probably end the stream for a bit. I need to go and help plant a tree in the backyard. So I need to go plant a tree in the backyard. So I will, have to hop off for a bit. Oh, also, there are also these things called build draft, like you can see right here, where the arrow is pointing. They have these called build drafts. They're basically like abilities and specs and everything like that people have played through and created themselves. So it's best, so it's, let me show you. So these draft builds are basically certain fighting style, certain like gameplay style that other people have created and share with the community, so that way you can choose from, like if you don't know how you want to build your style, stuff like that, you can choose from these build styles. Like right now I'm playing this build style right here, which is the Divine Sentinel, and it's basically a light dealing damager who can cast certain spells and stuff like that. And these are all like different builds that you can play through. You can choose which build you want to do. If you want to do DPS, tank, or healer, you choose one of them, and they will basically have all of the let's go this DPS giant, storm giant. they'll have all of the abilities and stuff already list in the all of the levels that you can get them at. And once you reach those levels, you automatically learn these abilities without having to choose yourself. And you know, it's a pretty good. So if you don't know, you know, like how certain abilities work or how certain builds work and stuff like that, and you can basically choose from these lists. Like choose which type of style you want to play. If you want to be a wild ranger, I don't know what a wild ranger is. What is that? Okay, so a wild ranger is basically an assassin ranger. From what I'm seeing right here, you can basically be an assassin ranger. Then you have the dark ranger, which is a ranger who seems to be able to cast dark magic. Yeah, it is a pretty cool feature. Some of them, for instance, like this one right here, Druid of the Fang. You when you like choose some of these, you get certain specs. For instance, let me show you. So there, like if you choose you can choose like okay, so remember how earlier you saw on the stream the bear inside of the town, where I was like, the bear's ass is way higher than its head? That is from a particular from a particular class known as Druid. The Druid, right? Can choose. The Druid can choose between playing a tank style, playing a healer style, or playing a DPS style. So you can choose between one of those styles that you want to play as a Druid. And the cool thing about it is that if you play the Druid, okay, so if you play the Druid, right? Okay. So if you play the Druid, right? If you choose to be a tank style, you get to shapeshift into the bear. If you choose the DPS style, you get to shapeshift into a cat. And if you choose the healer from the Druid style, you get to shapeshift into this thing known as a moonkin, which is basically the mixture of like a bear and a bird kind of thing. So you can choose between those, and the cool thing is like certain one of these features that you can choose. When you choose them, like for instance, this one is Druid of the Fang. So this is supposed to be a cat, as you can see right here, the cat form. It transforms you into form, but Serpent of the Fang changes your cat form into a serpent form. So basically, you still have all of the cat abilities and all of the cat attacks, but instead of looking like a cat, like for instance, instead of looking like a cat, you look like this serpent. You look like the snake. So if I go to the create character, I could show you. I could show you what I mean. Okay. But some of these forms, they're basically pay to get forms. The cat form, so this serpent form, this is if you choose the draft for the serpent form, you automatically get the serpent form. Create new characters. It don't matter what. So if you choose this, bam, bam. So if we go to DPS, no, if we go to tank, and we go to melee tank.
Transform into Carnage Incarnate, a savage beast fueled by blood and fury. Rend foes with sharpened claws that carve into every enemy hit, causing them to bleed. As your health wanes, You drink the blood of your foes to restore your health, turning their pain into your survival. Tear through multiple enemies at once, encase yourself in bones for unyielding defense, and become an unstoppable predator.
So yeah, if you choose a tank form, you can choose a bear form. I mean, well, no, that was a melee form. Let's see, where is? Okay, here we go.
The
So
plague bear is a vile disease.
you can have like a bear form, but these forms that I'm showing you right now, these forms you actually have to pay real money to get these forms, which sucks. Like this one, oh my gosh, this right here is 150 bucks. Can you believe that? 150. That's nuts. So even if you chose this particular specs, right? Even if you choose this spec to play as, when you get into the game, you don't actually look like this. You just look like a big regular bear, which is so dumb. Which is really, it sucks. It really sucks. If you choose the, let's see. So yeah, you got the serpent form. Like it's instead of if you choose like the serpent thing, you can transform into a serpent. Also, then there's this one called a Hellcat. This is another one that you actually have to pay to unlock this form. You'd still have all of these abilities, but you will look just like a regular cat instead of looking like this, you know, cool looking fire cat, which sucks if you ask me. And the pure healer. Over here we have the. Nope, it's not that. Where is it? Where is it?
A guardian of the ancient.
It's probably in the combat healer. There you go. If you choose a pure healer, no. Well, this is another form that you have to pay to unlock. But basically, you're supposed to turn into a tree, which does like extra healing and stuff like that. Like they're not showing. They're not showing the forms that I wish they were showing. They're showing a lot of the forms here that they're showing is ones that you actually have to pay to unlock.
A guardian of the ancient waters and
look, well, you can see the tree right here. It's not showing up here for some reason, but if you look up to this screen right here, you can see the tree. But yeah, that's basically, so these are builds. All of these right here are builds that you can choose from to play as. And then you have the free pick, which is basically allows you to pick and choose whichever skills you want. Okay. So yeah, if you're gonna try out the game, let me know. Let me know on Discord. Just type it on Discord. Let me know if you're gonna play or not, and we could play. We could play together. I'll definitely if as your first time hopping into it, I'll definitely choose the free to pick and choose like a build, choose a particular build, so that way you wouldn't have to worry about which skills should I unlock and stuff like that, just to get used to the get used to the game. Also, there are like 2 different ways that you can level up in the game. You can do like me. What I'm doing is just do dungeons after dungeons after dungeons, but you have to hit level 10 first before you can do dungeons. So you're gonna have to solo up until level 10, or we can we can play together until level 10. But at level 10 you can start doing dungeons and level up all the way to max level, or you can choose to do explore the map and do quests in order to hit max level. But yeah, let me know what you're gonna do. And we could play together. But I'm gonna hop off for a little bit so I can go do this, and I will be back on later. I'll probably be back on with it all depends. If you're gonna try out the game, I'll probably hop on and play a little bit more of Project Ascension, World of Warcraft, or if not, and you just want to play like Final Fantasy, let me know. We could play that later. But yeah, yeah. I'll let you know when I'm getting back on. But yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Peace. Oh, wait.